5-3, dimensional analysis. I can use one or more conversion factors to solve rate problems.
Okay, cool. So we are solving using conversion factors, using rates to convert from one to the other. I'm going to skip over the vocab because we got a lot to talk about here, but you do have to understand what conversion factors are and what dimensional analysis means. I'm going to skip over the example because we get to more of them in a second. Number 3, the process is huge. You're going to hear about the process that we came up with or that we use in our classroom as we solve these problems. So I do think that this might be something that we're going to add to our cheat poll after you do the assignment or something very similar to that, so keep that in mind as we go through the problems. So number 4. Here's what our dimensional analysis problems look like. So I'm just going to walk through this problem very slowly. You guys are going to help me out, okay? Ready, Maggie? Car travels at 60 miles on a road in 2 hours. So in every 2 hours, the car travels 60 miles. Okay, how many feet per second is the car traveling? Okay, why would we use that? Can you stop crippling that? Why would we use that? When in real life, best I can think of is an accident. There's a car accident, the police need to know how fast someone was going, and they figure out somehow that they were driving 30 miles per hour, and they want to know how long it took them to stop. So they get it down to feet per second because they see the skid marks on the road or something like that. That would be an example of why dimensional analysis would be used. So what we do is step number 1, you guys. We know a car is traveling 60 miles on the road in 2 hours, so step 1 is what? Everybody.
Write what you know.
Write what we know. So over here we wrote that the car is traveling 60 miles in 2 hours, right? Step 1, write what you know. So when you go back to number 3 in your main idea, the first step says write what you know. Okay, Maddie, what is the second step?
To write what you want.
Write what you want to know, right? So what we wanted to know, now obviously these numbers are filled in because we did the math, but we wanted to know how do you get from 60 miles in 2 hours, this right here, to feet per second. Because the question says, how many feet per second is the car traveling? So step 1, what do we know? Step 2, what do we want to know? Step 3, we left a space. So this whole part right here was blank. Because that's where we're going to put our conversion factors, right? That's where we're going to put our ratios. Step 4 is, everybody? Eliminate labels, cancel labels. And the only way to cancel labels is to get them on the opposite side of a fraction, right? So if you have a label in the numerator, you can only cancel it if that same label shows up in the
Denominator.
And you can only cancel a label if it's in the denominator if it shows up in the numerator. So do we want miles? So we know that the car is traveling 60 miles per 2 hours. Do we want our final answer to be in miles? Yes or no?
No.
We want it to be in feet. Do we want our final answer to be in hours?
No.
We want it to be in
Seconds.
So I believe when we did this together in class, you guys said, let's eliminate the hours first, right? Okay, so how do you get rid of hours? Well, the first thing we need to do is get rid of that label, and the only way to get rid of the label is to put hours in the numerator. And then we got to write a truth. Remember we talked about the word truth? What is a truth about hours?
60 minutes.
1 hour is 60 minutes. So we wrote 1 hour is 60 minutes. Does that help us eliminate hours as a label?
Yeah.
Yeah, because one's in the numerator, one's in the denominator. Okay, so now we don't have hours in our bottom. We have minutes. Do we want minutes?
No.
We want
Seconds.
seconds. So how do we go from minutes to seconds? Well, we got to eliminate minutes, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to write minutes in our numerator, right? And then make a truth. What's a truth about minutes, Thomas?
That is 60 seconds.
Well, 1 minute is 60 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so would that help us eliminate minutes then if we wrote 1 minute to 60 seconds?
Yeah.
And do we want seconds as our label?
Yeah.
We for sure want seconds as our label, so we are done. We actually have it in seconds. And by the way, am I crossing off the numbers or the labels?
Labels.
Just labels, okay? Next thing we want to do then is we want to figure out how to get from miles to feet, right? So in order to get rid of miles, we write miles in the denominator, because here we have miles in the numerator, and so in order to get rid of it, we write miles in the denominator. Well, what would be a truth about miles that would help us out? What would be a truth? Lauren?
There's 5,280 feet in a mile.
There's 5,280 feet in a mile. Okay, so now that we wrote that, we can cross off our miles. And do we want feet in the numerator?
Yes.
Do we want feet in the numerator?
Yeah.
Yes. Are we done with our conversions?
No. Yes. Yeah.
Well, do we have feet in the numerator?
Yeah.
Do we have seconds in the denominator?
Yes.
Do we want feet per second?
Yes.
So what's the last step?
Do the math.
Do the math. So the math would be 60 times 1 times 1 times 5,280. What's that give us?
1,800.
Okay, cool. The denominator math, 2 times 60 times 60 times 1. What's that give us?
7,200.
Is anybody going to say that there's 316,800 feet and 7,200 seconds? No, no one's going to say that. So we just simply reduce it down to,
44 feet per second.
can you use your calculator? Yeah, you just do the division. We have our fraction right here. Do the division to get 44 feet per second. Questions? Any clarifications? Last thing I want to say, all of our conversion factors are what kind of conversion, or what kind of ratios?
Unit
They are unit
rates.
rates or unit rate.
Reciprocals.
So this is a unit rate reciprocal because one's on the top. This is a unit rate reciprocal because one's on the top. Is this guy right here a unit rate?
Yes.
Yeah, one's on the bottom. So we want unit rates or unit rate reciprocals.